Hey, how you guys doing? I am your co-host, Christina Faith, and this is...
The Brilliant Dummy.
And we are Alotta Heads Podcast. Today we are on self-care Jawn.
Yeah.
She's a self-care Jawn the whole way.
I am.
Right?
I am.
This episode we're going to dive into the world of health and self-care and what that looks like for us. So, Tiara, tell me about your physical health journey. Like, where you been? Where you at? What you doing? What aren't you doing? How'd you get there?
Oh, man.
Let's start with how'd you get there.
How I got here. So, in, 2018, I started getting, like, neck pains and just headaches and stuff. And I'm like, okay, I got headache. I'm taking Tylenol and all this stuff. So, a few months later, I had moved out to LA. I am on a shoot with someone, and they're smoking the reefers, because, you know, that's what they do in LA.
Yes, they smoke a lot of reefers in LA.
I don't know if it was sativa or whatever strand it was, but I remember, you know, I'm around them as I'm explaining stuff, and so, and then it was on a Sunday, so I, like, went to church after the shoot, and I was praying that I did not hallucinate and get high while I'm sitting in church. So I'm, like, scared. And then
hallucination is not one of you. It's not a okay.
Yeah, but for me it was. Yeah, my body just I'm not built for
like, no.
it. Yeah, I had an incident that might be another episode. But anyway, so that night, man, I just started getting like a bunch of like congestion in my chest and stuff, and then kind of after that week, I'm getting like acid reflux type of symptoms and stuff. So I'm like, what is going on? And so it got so bad, like I had to go to the hospital. I was like coughing up blood.
Okay, but are you thinking this is from the weed, or you just?
At that time, I didn't connect it, but that's when stuff started. So I don't know if it was just the smoke or anything. That's when like all of this stuff just started triggering. And I just take it back to that. So I don't know if that person did it or not. But anyway. So I went home because my insurance is still based in Pennsylvania. So I go home. I'm setting, doctor's appointment. I think, man, in 1 week I had like 7 doctor appointments because they were sending me to the thyroid specialist, like all these different specialists. And I'm explaining the symptoms, to my doctors, and then they're running all these tests, and they're like, oh, well, you look fine. All the tests are fine. I'm like, but I'm not fine. Like, something's wrong. And so I don't know how I came across it, but I came across this doctor on YouTube named Dr. X. I love him. And he's explaining something called leaky gut, right? And I'm like, leaky gut. So he's explaining all these symptoms, and I had like 9 or 8 out of 10 of them, and like that's what I got. Like he's making sense. So then I'm like looking up like what is leaky gut and all this, and so some of the symptoms are like fatigue, digestive issues, foggy brain, anxiety, depression, like all these different. So I'm like, yeah, like I'm having. So he's making sense. So now I'm like looking up all his stuff, and I remember he suggested like, drinking for like the congestion and stuff. Cause it literally felt like something was in my throat. Like it felt like somebody was like pouring water down my throat. Every day I wake up, I just feel this feeling. So he suggested like drinking ginger with manuka honey. And I like started incorporating that into like my everyday. And then within a few months, like it actually went away. I'm like, oh, so this works. Like he's right. So then I'm really like, oh, this
sold
natural.
Out. Now you like,
this natural thing is on the way. Cause like I said, I'm taking Tylenol, and that's another thing. Antibiotics, that stuff actually harms your gut. And I've never been a medicine person, you know what I mean? And so I just never like taking medicine anyway. So I'm like, oh, this is good. I don't gotta rely on medicine. I can kind of go this natural way. And so, yeah, I just start like looking into more. I got his book. It's called Eat Dirt. That was like really eye-opening, even beyond the symptoms of just like our food and stuff. Like he mentions in the book how what our grandparents' generation got, the amount of nutrients they got from eating one banana, it would take our generation 9 to get. And so like our soil is heavily depleted, especially in America. And so that really got me like, oh, snap, like that is intense. So that kind of just sent me on this whole journey of like, he would mention like doing acupuncture for the headaches and neck pains and chiropractic and stuff. So I just started incorporating those things into my life. And so I'm like still on that journey. And so like kind of going back, some of the causes of this particular leaky gut thing was very prevalent, especially in America, from processed foods. And over time, especially for us, if you grew up on that stuff, at some point in time, it's going to catch up. And so stress obviously exaggerates everything. What else? Like alcohol, grain, certain things that's in the food. And so what happens is over time, it creates these little openings in your gut lining, and they, kind of create these openings. And so when that happens, undigested food and toxins can get into your bloodstream. Mm-hmm. And so once that happens, some people get autoimmune diseases, diabetes, acne, eczema, like skin issues. So it can cause any type of problems in people. It's just different. For me, it showed up in like headaches and other stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I just kind of been on that path of like really understanding like our food, lifestyle, stress, like I said, exercise. I do a lot of, self-care tips, which we'll get down to at the end. Don't laugh. She's like, oh, you do a couple. Yeah, I be out here, taking care of my body. I recently, so one of the things too, over the years, I just completely like shut my Western doctor down because they just never had the answers. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like incorporating acupuncture regularly and nutritionists regularly, these different things. And so I've really been wanting like, because you still need your wellness checks and stuff like that. So I really wanted a like holistic primary care doctor. And so I was researching a couple weeks ago and I came across this group. It's called Parsley Health. Mm-hmm. And so it's basically like a network of holistic doctors. They have locations in New York and LA. And so you basically get like a healthcare manager, a health coach, and then an actual like doctor. Mm-hmm. And so I found a Black female holistic doctor and I was like, yes. So I'm excited for that. Like I meet with her soon in May for our first appointment. Okay. I met with my health coach, and so the intake was like 3 hours. Ugh. Just for the form. So they ask you all your like medical history, symptoms, family history, your mental health, stressor. Like they kind of ask everything.
That's somebody asking those questions, or you filling that stuff out?
You're filling it out. Oh, so God. Yeah, you're filling everything out online. So yeah, they're kind of getting the whole gamut of everything to kind of then assess. So once you do that, then you meet with a health coach. They kind of went over everything with you, and then most of them specialize in either like nutrition or hormonal health, all these different things. So I was like stalking. The health manager sent me like a few recommendations, so I'm like looking up the health coaches to kind of find out which one I want. So the one I picked, like she was really into like self-care stuff and spas and floats. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go with her. So it was cool. So that's a whole new journey that I'm interested in.
How long have you been on your journey?
So since like 2018, really, of just like understanding. And the main thing is like stress is at the root of every disease, right? Mm-hmm. And as I'm learning that, like every doctor that I was going to along the way was just like, yeah, like you worry, you're a worrier, stress, and it's like weakening your immune system and your gallbladder and stuff. So I'm like, they're like, yeah, your fight or flight is on. I'm like, well, how do I turn it off? Like, give me the code. So that's a process, right? And I just started therapy 2 months ago, and so all of those symptoms have like come back roaring strong. And I think just because all of the things I'm having to process with that is kind of bringing up, and so just learning how to deal with that stress. But I know, that's like the biggest thing in just different health issues that we have. So, I'm learning how to turn that down, and breathing, and, decluttering, and getting out of toxic things and situations, and just becoming more self-aware. So yeah, that's kind of been like my physical health journey. That was a lot, but
yeah. No, it wasn't that much. I think so. I've always been athletic. So I played basketball all my life. I was on the softball team, tennis team. I swam. Like, I've always been athletic. Then I went to college, and athleticism dies in college. And so I tried to, like, work out a couple times in college, and it just didn't work. And so when I graduated college, I wasn't a bad weight. I've always been a little chunky. My metabolism is trash. And so my metabolism has always been trash. And so probably when I was like in 2000, when I was working for the state, 2006 through 2008, I would go work out on my lunch break. Like, I don't mind working on a lunch break, got a trainer, and I did really well. I didn't really change my eating as much. But yeah, I learned a little bit, but I wasn't really focused on nutrition. And then when I moved to Philadelphia, my roommate at the time, she was really big on nutrition and what's in stuff. I discovered what Whole Foods was and Trader Joe's. And what happened was, I used to talk about it. I remember one time she made this peanut butter and jelly for me, and she put on like this walnut bread, and it was natural peanut butter and natural jelly. And I was like, what is this stuff and why? And as time kind of went on, we were just friends for a little while. And then once we moved in together, I'm really big on communal eating and things like that. Okay. And so I was like, she went to Whole Foods and Trader Joe's, and I went to the ShopRite. Right. But I saw all the bags she came back with from Trader Joe's, and I was like, I have half the bags compared to your bags for the same amount. Yeah. And so let me dispel this whole issue of Trader Joe's, Whole Foods being more expensive. It really just depends on what you buy, right? Some things are more expensive, but the quality is better regardless. Trader Joe's quality isn't as great, but some of y'all like Trader Joe's. And so I started going to Trader Joe's and Whole Foods. I started reading. She would read the back of everything. Yes. Everything. Food labels are important. And so she started teaching me about different things. I was like, okay. So I had kind of like changed. And I changed like the things I ate, right, specifically first. And then probably about 3 years later, my friend took a picture of me at a picnic. And I saw the picture, y'all. And I was like, this ain't gonna work. And so I started to work out. I got a trainer, started to eat right, and then I learned what it was to like count macros and stuff like that. So probably like 3 or 4 years straight, I worked out 6 days a week. And then I left the spiritually abusive church, lost all my workout partners, ended up living in the woods. Oh wow. And I gained mad weight. I know. So yeah, we moved out to Fort Washington, but it was in the woods. Okay. Like literally in the woods. Ain't no scepter around, nothing. Right. And so I gained a lot of weight. And so a part of, being more healthy, and because I've been grass-fed, organic, and all that kind of stuff for a while now. And so not being able to work out is like the biggest factor for my gaining weight. And so I ended up working out with my best friend, and we started working out. And so now I'm probably up to like 4 days a week now, back to more consistency. I'm really big on working out. I'm really big on eating a lot of protein, a lot of veggies. I don't eat a lot of carbs in general. Like I have probably too much self-control in some ways, like, cause I can count the calories as I'm eating them. Oh wow. And so like a lot of people that eat 6 cookies, I'm eating them 2 cookies cause I know they're 120 calories. And so I know that 14 chips or 12 chips is 140 calories. Oh, and so I'm very portion controlled. Yeah. Right. And so if in my stomach, I get sick, like my stomach feels too big if I eat too much. And so I'm not counting. I used to like use MyFitnessPal and stuff like that. I used to count everything. But I think after you've done that for a while, you don't necessarily need to do it because you're in the habit of doing it anyway. And so I'm not really big on diets. I'm not big on extremism, because if you can't sustain it, you're just going to throw yourself back. And so for years, I've just been working out, eating healthy. I definitely eat out, but even my eating out is like pho or Wingstop. Like it's not crazy. If I eat pizza, I'm probably not going to eat the crust. I'll probably eat one slice of the pizza and then just eat the cheese. I'm kind of like half. Eat it. You done ate the bread. No, it's not the same because I'm not counting. I'm not bringing all them carbs in. My metabolism is trash. And so, so my physical health it's been really good for a while now. And so, but I'm not the type of person that I don't work out to lose weight. I work out just because I like how I want to feel great. And so I'm definitely addicted to endorphins.
That's the key.
Yeah, I'm definitely addicted to endorphins. I've never had any health scares. I had high cholesterol all my life. But my doctors have never been really concerned about it because I've had it for so long. And like, I don't have any of the complications. It's just like, oh, it's a little high. You need to work out. Not, oh, it's a little, like, since I was like 8. But I used to eat a lot of cheesesteaks when I was young. And candy, a lot of candy. And so one of my doctors finally looked, he was like, oh, it's your stomach. You have a lot of stomach weight. And so just, if you work out, your numbers will immediately fall. Like, we don't need to test you. Like, as long as you're working out, you're fine. Because working out balances all of your numbers in general, right? Especially because I eat healthy. And so, yeah, like, I'm like 142 pounds of muscle.
You're very strong.
I'm very strong, and it's a little body for all this strength. It doesn't make sense to me, but the Lord did it. And so, yeah, it's been for a while. During COVID, I made a home gym.
Yes.
So I got I be on my bike. I be on my treadmill. I just got a squat rack.
Oh, wow.
I'm probably gonna go back to the gym just for heavy days and stuff like that, so I can lift heavier as far as legs are concerned. But yeah, I find, and I was talking to my therapist about it, I feel off when I don't work out, just like emotionally, physically, mentally off. And so she was explaining, like, endorphins are actually, you know, it's a natural high, but your body gets addicted to them. And so she's like, it sounds like you're in an endorphin withdrawal. I'm like, yeah, probably. And so, yeah, that's kind of like where I've been. I'm really big on what I eat. I'm really big on where my food comes from. I don't like pesticides. I don't like, I've been trying to garden for a while. We'll see what happens. I haven't been able to eat my fruit yet, y'all. But like, I go to the farmer's market and things like that. I buy all of my fresh groceries, fruits and vegetables from Whole Foods. I don't really like Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's doesn't last as long to me. It seems,
Yeah, you do gotta buy.
Well, like, food is in the A, B, C, D grade.
Yeah.
And so you have to go to places.
Fresh stuff you just gotta get for like that day or week, because you try to bulk fresh food.
No, not even bulk, but the texture of it is different, right? And so, yeah, that's kind of like where I've been out here.
Aldi's is good too.
I do Aldi's for some
good,
things.
like organic.
Yeah.
But
Aldi's is more like Aldi and Trader Joe's are the same, on the same level. It's just that Trader Joe's packages, theirs are a little better.
Yeah. They're owned by the same company, actually. Both are brothers.
Not the same company.
No, that's the same company. So it's out. They're from Switzerland or whatever. So it's two brothers, and one of them owns like Trader Joe's, which is Aldi North, and then the other is like Aldi South, which they called Aldi here. Okay. So they're actually owned by the same company. Okay. And brand. I don't know if it's Sweden or whatever they originate from, but they're actually owned by the same people. But So like, one of the things as I'm learning about health and all these things, obviously stress can trigger a lot. Definitely. And cortisol and different things. Like, even for me, I mean, I'm eating healthy stuff, bananas and strawberries and stuff like that, like, give me a bad reaction. Like, I can't eat that stuff. Anything corn, you know what I mean? And so obviously it's a lot of stuff. You got food allergies. Yeah, I got a lot of food allergies. So it's like, I ate a salad the other day and I got a headache. And I'm like, food allergies? Yeah. So I know for sure corn, I can't do any corn. Any wheats, any grains, definitely gluten intolerant, but they're in everything. So it's just like, it's hard. And I'll make little changes and like eat lettuce instead of bread on a burger or whatever. But then after a while, it's like, I need like just a burger. You know what I mean? Especially my schedule. Like, I remember in college, and I was working and, going to school full time, and it was a gas station across the street from where I worked. I wouldn't eat nothing the whole day. I just had time to go over there on my break, and I would literally have a meal out of like pretzels and Doritos. And that's not a meal, sis. Right, but that was my meal to me. So like, it's called a snack. Very bad, like, just eating habits. You know what I mean? And so, but it's tough, right? Because we got all the pesticides and this different stuff, and we got keto diets and all that. And I'm like, bruh, our ancestors have been eating grains and wheat for centuries, and now all of a sudden we can't eat bread, we can't eat right. Like, something's wrong with our food, number one. And it seems to be like it's almost like becoming a luxury to just be healthy and to be.
It is a luxury.
You know what I mean? Like to have fresh vegetables.
Let me say no, it's not a luxury because I was eating this way when I was on welfare. Let me, and I can say that I was on welfare and ain't had no money welfare. Like, ain't had no extra coins.
But kids and stuff like that, like, you gotta think about those people.
Yeah, but for example, if you're on welfare and you have kids, you get more money, right? If you're by yourself, you get $110, right? There is a way to eat healthy no matter how much you make. It's the resources of knowing where to go.
Yeah, which especially in the Black community, I mean, there are food deserts, so most people don't know where to go.
They don't know where to go. So that's what I'll say. I'll say that knowing the resource is the devastation, not how much you make. Because think about it, even if you ain't got no money and you got $10, you can go to Whole Foods and you can get greens. You can get some sweet potatoes and you can get some rice for $10.
You can't get no meat, so you got to be vegan.
Well, I'm just saying.
you ain't getting no meat.
But that's the luxury, right? Is the stuff you want to eat.
Just to eat. That's still because for some people, everybody's not vegan.
The salmon at Trader Joe's costs the same as the salmon.
Well,
at
their
Whole Foods
salmon is all farm raised.
But I'm saying at Aldi, anyway. I'm just saying all three of them.
Yeah.
Those prices are the same.
Where?
At Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, and Aldi.
As far
the salmon, all the salmon is $9.99 a pound, farm most of them. Or wild. Right?
Yeah, ShopRite has good.
All of those stores have $9.99 a pound steak, regardless of which kind you want. Yeah. You know, they may have the more expensive one, the more expensive cut, but they all have the same thing. The chicken is a little bit more expensive at Whole Foods and Trader Joe's.
Grass-fed meat.
Not even. I won't even say no because when I'm thinking about Aldi, unless you're getting like the low totem pole one. Is about the same because I did price comparisons for years, and now I just ended up at Whole Foods and I'm like it's the same. Like some things are more expensive. For example, I drink 𝐬𝐸𝐿. I don't drink soda. I don't drink anything with sugar in it unless it's like an apple juice or something. I very rarely drink stuff with sugar in it, and so 𝐬𝐸𝐿s for me are more expensive, but it's a 0-calorie stevia situation. Yeah, and so I'm always very leery to say. Because you're financially depleted, you can't. Because you can, the issue is the resourcing.
Yeah, I think you can't. You got to be very patient. You need to know where things are. Yeah, you got to know. I mean, I remember once I did kind of making that switch and being more aware of organic versus, processed. I mean, I would spend my meat alone for the week or whatever would be $100 just on the meat. We ain't talking greens and all that. Just one. And I'm like getting chicken for the week, getting grass-fed beef. I was going to this when I was balling. I was going to.
I go to Whole Foods.
Whole Foods.
And I'm feeding Whole Foods. I'm feeding 3 people at $110 a week in Whole Foods.
I was going to Whole Foods. I bring 2 little
and
bags back
home.
And
we got steak, shrimp, and salmon. So it's probably. You know what I discovered with food? It's not the basics that are expensive. It's the snacks. It's the extras. It's the extras that we compensate for. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Because fruits, vegetables,
they're still
and meat
pretty reasonably.
Is reasonable. It's when I want to go get that $5 bag of cookies. Right. Mm-hmm. It's generally
that still got sugar in it. Like if you read these labels, it's so many different terms for sugar. It's like 40 or something. You got fructose, you got like there are so many, and then they'll package that stuff like natural this and that, and then you read the back and the first ingredient is high fructose corn syrup, as if people, and a lot of people don't know. They don't know no better, but read your food labels.
It's the knowledge. It's the knowledge that
you gotta
people suffer
read
from.
Food labels and learning this stuff
because it's more expensive to go to the corner store.
Yeah,
than it is to go to the supermarket.
Like. We went to Sweet Green the other day.
Sweet Green is crazy expensive.
Yeah, we paid $20 for her salad. And she was getting all these add-ons. Now I'm like, why is it $20 for a salad and
I think Sweet Green is one
$4 for a 20-piece or 50-piece? Let me not speak
on Sweet Green's name. Go ahead.
No, they're good. They've been good to me. But I'm like, why is it $20
I think it's just too overpriced for me.
Yeah, but see, that's the luxury of it, especially when it comes to fast food. Because it's like, let's be realistic. Everybody can't be home cooking meals every night, and so the fact that you can get a Happy Meal whatever for $4, but then go out and try to get something healthy. A salad is $9
to $10.
Like, and that's the luxury part where it's just like, you know, especially in our community, it's Popeyes, McDonald's on every other corner. You know what I mean? And so it's just like not even having those resources to go, like to know you got an outlet.
I just had some
fries you like though? Who got the best fries?
So I don't eat their fries, but McDonald's has the best fries.
I think Checkers got the best fries. Checkers. I mean, Checkers and Popeyes fries are basically the same Cajun, but Checkers. I think I like the Cajun fries.
I had a 2-piece of Popeyes and it was fresh too.
All right, we're not going to digress.
It was so good.
Sometimes.
No, I'm saying, but
sometimes you got to eat it. Yeah,
it's the 80-20 rule.
Yeah,
because what happens is people will starve themselves so much from it, and then when they finally have it, you're gorging it.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
And so, I think...
Especially when all them documentaries and not steaks over
them
knives.
documentaries had me not eating meat.
Yeah, everybody was like, oh my God.
My husband still doesn't, but he eats according to his blood type. But
yes,
we went vegan for a while, and it was cool.
Yeah.
But I still wanted some chicken.
Right, yeah.
And I still wanted my steak.
Yeah.
And so I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm just going to eat the grass-fed, holistic as much as I can.
Yeah.
Like, I was buying all these steak for a while, but then I got a piece of that Whole Foods steak, and I stopped playing myself in my mind because my mind was like, oh, it's going to save me a couple dollars. Man, I get my ribeye. I'll be all right.
Yeah.
And so tell me about how your journey with physical health and mental health meet, for example, at therapy.
Oh, man. I mean, I think your whole body connects, right? Because what you're eating can dictate to even how you respond under stress, right? So if you full of Pepsi and you under stress, that's probably not the best thing to be working with. Your body, you know, our body heals itself. God is so cool so even with like vitamin C and having supplements, they're not necessarily healing your body. They're helping. They help aid it.
Unless
because
it's
your body,
unless it's the 92 minerals in sea moss. You can go to Black and Nobel and get your sea moss.
Get that. Yes.
And the only reason I'm saying that is because I've been eating sea moss lately.
Yeah, and you said it's been
cleaning my system out regularly. Smooth.
Clean it. Smooth criminal. So
elderberry.
So it's just like, you wanna help your body do its natural thing, right? Because our bodies, like I think our gut linings and stuff, it
goes
rebuilds every like 72 hours and stuff. So just like understanding that and dehydration, not having enough water, you know, things like that. I don't drink enough
water. I drink maybe 36 ounces a day. I know I need more, but I go to the bathroom a lot.
You might need more water.
I go to the bathroom a lot.
That's not even a full.
Yeah, it is.
That's like 16. Yeah, that's. Oh, you need more water, girl. But
how
come your skin is? Because I be ashy, and I'm like, are you drinking water?
So since we're talking about self-care, well, here's the thing. I tried to drink water according to my body type, and I almost died. It's too much water.
Yeah.
It's way too much water.
Balanced, because it's supposed to be like half of your body weight in ounces. That's how much technically you're supposed to.
That would be almost like 100 ounces a day. Who's doing that?
That's a lot. Yeah, you gotta pace. But I mean, I'm into water. That's all I drink. I drink
tea. I drink water, and I drink coffee black. I drink tea with honey now.
Okay, which now I'm hearing. Well, I guess that's the caffeine, but a lot of teas actually dehydrate you.
Tea and coffee can dehydrate you, which is why I drink them hand in hand. But at the same time, green tea and black coffee are good for you're boosting your metabolism. And so it's almost like the catch-22 of it. But my skin, I have a very regimented skincare.
Yeah, how's that?
For years I didn't have a regimen at all. And so I don't know, I just randomly one day started doing facials on Fridays because it's my slow day. Then I got a steamer. And then I started looking because I was like, okay, well, now my acne is under control because I've had acne since I was like 9. Since I got hormones, I got acne. And so, I wash my face in the morning and at night, and I have like I've got all kinds of products that I use.
To do.
So I wash. I use apple cider vinegar. I use rose water. and then I put several serums on my face in order to help with the brightness of it, and as well as get rid of marks because I'm light skinned. Light skinned with acne don't work, and so I got to get rid of the marks. And then I use microblade, microderma. And I do mask about 2-3 times a week. I moisturize every time I take a shower. Don't do that. Little natural moisturizer, little natural lotion. Yeah. And I try to take care. My husband's like, yeah, your self-care is you take care of yourself. Yeah. And so I'm really, as you get older, especially, I don't want to be like, oh my gosh, the wrinkles in 30 years, right? Well, how can I care for this temple that I have? And that, it's a slowing down. I make coffee in the morning, and I have so my self-care starts in the morning, right? As soon as I wake up, go to the bathroom, I'm doing teeth whitening now. And so I got a teeth whitening kit and things like that. So I brush my teeth in the morning. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to start doing teeth whitening and not playing with it anymore. Right. I found how to do it cheap. Holla at me. Because the dentist wanted $500 for one session. And so I make my coffee in the morning, but it's a slow pour. Right? Okay. So it slows you down a little bit. I make my tea in the morning. You just can't, pop it in. You gotta let it steep. Right. So I make a cup of coffee and a cup of tea in the morning. Because a cup of coffee is to get me going. A cup of tea is during my meditation and my prayer time. Then I spend some time in prayer and meditation, read the word, get about my day, and I go off.
Wow. Yeah, it's that's a really good regimen. I do none of that. I would like throw water on my face and I'm out the door.
I had to do that all this week, and I hate that.
Yeah.
It's the worst in the world. Like, shout out to all you guys who just get up and have to go. Yeah. Like, I have to build in time to prepare myself to go.
Yeah, I mean, my skin is, I don't know. Yeah, I just like throw some water on.
See, but you got nice skin. Like, see, I ain't got that. The Lord he ain't give me no nice skin.
It's okay. Be all right. Yeah. But, I mean, piggyback what you were saying as far as, like, kind of the mental health link and then our eating and stuff. So, one thing I've been learning just with, like, therapy and stuff is even, like, your relationship to food, right? So, I'm, like... I always like finish my food. Even it will take me like 2 bites or so, and I'm like full, but I'm like I still eat my food.
Why?
And so uncovering that, like as a kid, when you're told like you better eat all your food, right? You better finish that plate. With you.
See, I was putting it on the side and even
you see, but even subtle how that affects. And I didn't realize that. I'm like,
they were doing it. Like I'm full,
but I still keep eating.
They do it when you're a kid intentionally. Yeah. It's not really making you eat the food, but it is making you eat it. Let me rephrase. It's not trying to force you to eat it.
Some people be forcing their kids.
No, but some kids, they want peanut butter and jelly right after they done.
Yeah.
And so that ain't discipline. Who's my little cousin? That was his thing. He would not eat the food, and then 2 hours later, he wants peanut butter and jelly.
Peanut butter and jelly, yeah. But even some of it too, like understanding our portions. Like sometimes the portions are very too big.
Yeah, I measure my food.
Especially if you feeding the kid vegetables fill you up fast. So they very well could be full. Like I'm done. But if you're like eat, and when you've constantly like kind of go through that throughout your life, it kind of does stick with you where you don't even subconsciously you just know like I need to finish my food. Where it's like I was full a couple bites ago, but I'm like understanding that where it's like, why, like just rushing too. And that's just, I don't know why I'm just rushing. So I'm like on the go and not being mindful of what I'm eating, how, you know what I mean? So just like understanding those things and affecting, and I was trying to look her up. I think her name is Mary something, but she's a health expert. She said something as to, genetics load the gun, but it's lifestyle that pulls the trigger.
Yes.
And so
my genetics is slow metabolism.
Yeah. So, and that might be a genetic thing that may be able to be reversed in some way. It could be.
6 days a week.
It could.
6 days a week.
What?
And I'll have to work out 6 days a week and 1,200 calories a day.
Wow. But you do that though.
I don't work out 6 days a week anymore. I'm fine. I'm cool now.
You be on that bike. You be going in.
I'm straight now.
Like, I'd be like,
I just had to get that. I had to get that COVID weight back off because that was crazy.
Yeah, you be going in though. But and even the because you're still, especially what you do, your body's still burning after, and you lift a lot of weights. That's the surest way to like burn, you know what I mean, with weight. So that's great. But just like understanding what she said in that relation of how we can kind of change the dichotomy of our habits that we've learned, our relation to food, understanding, you know what I mean, the food and how it works and all these things, and like making that lifestyle to be like, you know what, I can start to build a healthier branch on my family tree, I guess, you know, even as it relates to health and so many other areas of life. So but I definitely think healthcare is just holistically around like assessing what you're eating, your mental, your, you know, physical. And that's another part of where I was kind of getting in with luxury, because even stuff like hold on.
So while we here on this portion, so when we say luxury, Tiara has a luxurious self-care lifestyle. Tell me about your luxurious self-care lifestyle.
Should it be called? I mean, I do, but I wish
you floating in tons of ice. I mean,
because I need it. Well, I just be trying to like get my body right. I mean, I'm always trying stuff. I started doing float therapy. I finally tried it, which is basically you like float in a little pool, and it's like 1,200 pounds of epsom salt. So it's really good with like, you know, for stress and any inflammation, toxins out the body. And I be finding Groupons. Like, that's the thing. You just gotta know where to find these
it's
things.
The resources.
I think it's definitely the resources and knowing. But then I put it in my budget, and so it's just like that's a priority to me.
Got you.
And so that's where I'm going to spend most of my money, because your body. Listen, if you got headaches all day and you tired it's gonna be hard to do anything in life, you know. And so a lot of it comes down to priority, right? Where you're right, some people just don't see it as a priority. Some people don't know to, you know, like some people, I'll post stuff online and people will meet like, oh my god, that looks expensive and luxury, and what is that? And I'm like, it was a Groupon for $20.
I'll be like, give me the link.
Yeah, and I'll send them. I started posting them more, and you know, as I'm doing this, I'm like, people need to know about these things, you know, getting massages. And I just got a little trampoline that I got it not knowing that it's good for your lymphatic and with your digestion. But just for stress, I'll just go bounce on it if I get off of a
it's good for your lymphatic and your digestion, because movement period is what moves your digestion. If you're having poo-poo problems and stomach problems, you need to work out.
Get a trampoline, run.
You need to work out. Yeah. You need to move your body, because what's happening is your body is locked up.
Right.
And so it needs that release in order to move. So it's like whenever you know, if you ever been to the gym and you get on a treadmill, you gotta go bathroom.
You run. You
gotta go bathroom.
I have this it's like a squatter thing. It goes around my toilet and it puts your legs up, like when you're on the bathroom, to kind of, I don't want to be too graphic, but your colon, you know, because straight, it's hard to go.
You're not supposed to go straight. You're actually supposed to like
when people squat, so it puts you in that squat position so that like your
colon don't have to sit.
Yeah, you're good. So I get that, and that's on Amazon for like.
No, you're resourceful. I didn't say you weren't resourceful. But
I'll be finding it.
It's luxurious.
It is, but I'm just like it. I mean, it's a part of my life where I know if I have, you know, I'm just off kilter, and I'm just like, You good? Yeah. All right.
Because you probably touched the keyword. Go ahead.
Oh, are we back on? Mm-hmm. I just know that, you know, when I'm not doing these things, my body keeps the score. You know what I mean? And it's like
our bodies knows what's going on.
Massage, so
like a lot of times, sometimes I'm like, I'm tired, and I'm actually hungry or I'm thirsty. I'm not really tired. So after a full day, you know, I realized I probably don't eat enough snacks, and so I've changed my eating a little bit. So in the morning, I'm only having a smoothie, and then I'll have a salad, and then I'll eat a little bigger when I get home. Yeah. But oh my gosh, I'll be struggling sometimes. I'm like, I'm tired, and so I need to add in a snack. At least 2 snacks. And normally I would do breakfast, snack, meal, snack, dinner, snack, right? Wow. And so those are smaller portions. Yeah. But in order to keep my body going.
That's hard to do. Like most of the time, I'm like 2 meals a day. It's hard to get past 2 meals a day.
I prep though. Well, yes, I agree. The only reason I'm able,
at least for me, because all of our bodies are different.
No. It ain't got nothing to do with your body. It's your mind. Let me tell you why it's your mind. I'm being serious. So when I first got a trainer, right, he focused on nutrition, right? I didn't drink black coffee in the beginning. He made me drink black coffee. He said, you're going to drink a cup of black coffee or a cup of black tea every morning. Your choice. I was like, I can't put a little sugar, a little half and half. No, nothing. Yeah. And so I followed what he said. He was like, you're going to eat 3 meals a day and 3 snacks a day. And I was like, that's too much. Yeah. He's like, no, it's not. It's what you need. You have been starving your body all this time and have been waiting to eat. You need your calories at a scheduled time. Yeah. And so what actually ended up happening was you can change, like the doctor said, you can change what your body agrees to, right? Yeah, you can. And so if you scheduled your body to eat 2 meals, they're probably big meals, right? They're probably not smaller meals.
I kind of do a lot of intermittent fasting because I've never been a morning eater. Like if I eat before a certain time, I will literally get sick. I'll get sick.
It's actually, so you need to try to eat like a protein shake or something. It is the most, and I never ate breakfast, y'all. Ever. Yeah, it is the most important meal of the day because it is the only one that fuels you for the rest of the day. Yeah,
which, I mean, to the degree, now, and morning could be anything. Like my body just doesn't wake up till like 10.
Whatever your wake up is.
Yeah, and that first meal should be your biggest too, so you have energy throughout the day to fuel. Most people, what we do is the opposite. Some people eat big breakfast, but then you eat a big dinner before you go to bed or something, like, you eat right before you go to bed, and that's just not good because then you don't give your digestive system enough time to break it down as you're sleeping. And then that's a whole nother thing. We're not getting enough sleep for our body to digest and reset and all this stuff. But I mean, it's learning too. Like we all have different bodies and
you have to learn
body types and learn about your body. And stuff. Yeah,
but not put your body in a chokehold to what you think it can do. Yeah. That's the thing. Like you got to just know your body and what it needs when it needs it. Some people do good on intermittent fasting and eating between certain hours. I turn into a little beast.
Really?
Where's the food?
I cannot. Yeah, I mean, I can go until like 1, 2 in the afternoon until like I'm ready to eat.
I can, but then I'm famished.
I'd be cool. But then, I mean, I don't know. I just
got you.
We're all different in that respect sometimes. But yeah, it's just learning your body, listening to your body. Not just you getting pains and stuff and not just chalking it up to like, oh, I'm getting old. No, it may be something going on that you need to investigate.
Chiropractors are great.
What I mean? I'm always for the figuring out how to help the body heal with stuff. Infrared sauna is another good outlet to do. That
what
gets
else
a lot
got?
of toxins out.
Give us your rundown.
The face steamer, face roller. I got my face roller somewhere.
Yes,
I bought it
you
today.
bought me a face roller, and I absolutely adore the face roller.
Thing, it's somewhere in here, but it just, I put it in the freezer and roll my face. It helps with I've been getting really bad sinus infections too. That started. All this stuff where you just get a certain age and then your body's just like, it's mine.
I ain't got none of that.
Over. And so I'm just like, yo, what is going on? Especially when you ain't never experienced these things. But even I was just telling you, talking to the health coach, there may be a possible like mold exposure that I had years ago. And so that a lot of these symptoms are kind of mimicking potential mold exposure. So that's a whole nother thing I got to figure out the next few months. Don't just always kind of chalk up. And a lot of stuff I'm like, oh, I'm getting older or whatever. But then I'm like, it just lowered the quality of my life. I mean, I was literally getting headaches, migraines for like almost 2 years every day, all day. And that's why I cut my hair, because it was just like, no matter what I did, I mean, I just had a headache. And so I could barely live, and I didn't want to do nothing because I couldn't hardly get out the bed, because it's just these migraines. And so at that point, that's how I was like, no, something's going on. I gotta like figure this out and not just be like, oh, it's just stress or whatever. Like something's going on. And so just kind of going on that discovery and getting a lot of answers holistically then, because our healthcare system is just built on
it's trash.
Profit and treating the symptom, right? Not getting to the root cause of what's going on. And so I'm just like, nah, we need to get to the root, see how we can address it, and live better lives, because our health is wealth. That's the real,
health
wealth.
Is wealth. Yeah, it's really important that you take care of yourself, that you know the signs of your body, and that you just develop routines, right? Changing your routines. What routines do you have that are good? What routines do you have that are bad? And so we'll throw some more comments and resources, of course, because we are the queens of resources. Yes. In the link. Tell us what your self-care Jawn is. Like, what do you do? We telling you what we do. What do you do? And yeah, so thank you guys for joining us today. I'm your co-host, Christina Faith, and this is
Brilliant Dummy.
And this was A Lot of Hats. Have a great day, guys.